All righty, everybody. We have got a contest for you coming up. It is for free weekend passes for the Texas Haunters Convention in Irving, Texas. And Brett's got more details on the dates and how to join the contest.
The dates are July 25th through the 27th. It's going to be held at the Irving Convention Center in Irving, Texas. And how you need to enter is you need to take a screenshot of your subscription to the YouTube channel and email it to evilneverdieспod@gmail.com and put stay evil in the subject line.
Yeah, this is
And
sort of a YouTube contest. So if you listen on the podcast, just jump onto the YouTube and subscribe. Now, there are a few little conditions of this. You have to be in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex or be able to come to the Metroplex for the convention. Otherwise, it's sort of pointless.
exactly. Uh,
So make your plans to come to the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex for the Texas Haunters Convention in July and win free passes from the Evil Never Dies podcast. And
and
that's all.
that's it. Hit
So
that like
join,
and subscribe button, everybody.
like, and subscribe and win this contest. We look forward to hang out with you at the convention. We will have a table there and we'll be there all weekend.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
This
Stay
is the
evil.
Evil Never Dies podcast with Brett and Carl. This podcast may contain adult themes, violence, and strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, evil ones? Welcome back to the Evil Never Dies podcast. And happy Friday the 13th.
Yeah, we've even got little Jason out there. Let me move out of the
Oh,
way.
it's the widow Jason.
Jason, you can actually see the whole studio if I move out of the way. It zooms in on stuff. The little Jason's here for Friday the 13th. I'm barely here.
I know we're both barely
We're
here.
both barely here.
We both got bad backs.
Well,
We're,
mine's because I'm trying to start a chainsaw and it slipped and I fell almost. We're not going to talk about last week's episode. It's no longer on YouTube.
we
We
decided
got
to pull
shadow
it.
banned.
We decided to pull it because we had like 8 views on the motherfucker. So
We think it was shadow banned. And plus, we talked for 20 minutes about something other than the movie. So I want to go back and do that movie again, like in a year.
all
But
right.
tonight it is Friday the 13th, and I asked Brett which one, and he picked, what'd you say? Oh, what's the one that,
Oh,
I can't even think of the idiot's name. What is that idiot's name?
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman, the one that he killed Jason. I'm like,
My favorite guitarist ever.
that would be Friday the 13th, the final chapter,
Yes, it is.
featuring the Corey Feldman versus Jason Voorhees.
All right.
And I'm just gonna say, of all the movies I've ever seen in my life, I have probably seen this movie more than anything other than the movie Chariots of the Gods, which I used to watch like 2 or 3 times a day back in my childhood.
Oh,
That's how
really?
weird of a kid I was. Yes.
Chariots of the Gods, huh?
Yeah, and they made that entire thing into the Ancient Alien show on the History Channel, which is like on season 20 now. So it's sort of like, wow, I guess I was onto something as a kid.
That's funny.
But other than that, Friday the 13th, the final chapter is probably about my second most viewed movie.
Really?
Maybe one of the Star Wars movies would be right there with it. I don't know.
Gotcha. All right. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, the fourth installment to the Friday the 13th series, directed by Joseph Zito, Screenplay by Barney Cohen. Story by Bruce Hidemi Sakow.
Sackcow.
Sakow. Based on characters by Victor Miller, Ron Kurz, Martin Kitrosser, and Carol Watson. Produced by Frank Mancuso Jr. Cinematography by João Fernandez. Edited by Joel Goodman, Daniel Lowenthal. Music by none other than Harry Manfredini. Production company, Friday 4 Inc. I wonder if that's because this is the fourth Friday movie.
I guess so. That's pretty creative of them, is it not?
Distributed by Paramount Pictures. Released on April 13th, 1984, which was a Friday.
Of course it was.
There's some trivia about that we'll go into too later on. So, has a running time of 91 minutes. Country of origin, United States. English language. Budget, they say anywhere from 1.8 to 2.2 million dollars, and it did awesome at the box office. Brought in close to $34 million.
Do you
11
think
million of it in the first weekend.
do you think this was the prime of the Friday the 13th series at this stage?
Yeah, we'll get into a little bit of that too.
I'd say between part 3 and this would have been what I would have called the prime if it
All right.
had one.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go over the plot. You want to do the plot, Carl, of this one?
Well, it's typical Friday the 13th movie. Takes place after part 3, or also known as 3D, Friday the 13th 3D. Jason's dead, as is everybody else. They come in to cart him off, and he's taken to the morgue. So I don't know. Why does Jason stay dead longer sometimes than others? It makes no sense to me. But maybe it's because he was at the morgue and these two idiots start trying to have sex basically on top of his dead body. This coroner's an idiot. He eats a sandwich, puts it on the dead Jason. Well, apparently this pisses Jason off between the sandwich and the sex, and he wakes up and kills everybody and starts walking home. Well, apparently he doesn't make it all the way back to Crystal Lake this time. He's like in between, maybe. I don't know. He's not in his typical Crystal
Environment.
Lake. Yeah. He finds himself well with Corey Feldman's family, his sister and mother, and a house full of these terrible teenagers
Yeah,
featuring
next
Crispin
door.
Glover
I guess that
of
was
the
like an old school Airbnb or
I
whatever.
think it was, but they're not campers. And that's what makes this movie unique. That it's actually not campers and it's not at the campsite. Yeah, Crispin Glover is the only one I actually recognize. And he sort of plays the typical nerdy character that he usually always does. He's known for being George McFly from Back to the Future,
Yeah.
which I guess came after this. I don't
Oh
remember.
yeah, way
Yeah.
after it.
And basically, Jason starts killing everybody as always. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much you got the little partying teenagers and Corey Feldman's family, and then this weird dude hiking in the woods shows up, sort of as a bounty hunter almost,
Yeah, he was looking for Jason.
looking for Jason because Jason killed his sister.
Yeah.
So sort of a flash forward to Jason's dead, and that's another time a bounty hunter comes after Jason. So lots of
And
characters
it
in
sort
this
of goes
one.
into the remake too, because
It does. It does.
yeah. So
This is a different of the Friday the 13th series. It's not like the others. It stands out.
yes, it does.
But for me, like I said, I have seen this movie so goddamn many times that it's just hard to watch at this stage. It really is. But we're not gonna consider that when I do my reviews.
Okay.
I am gonna give a review of the me in the 1980s versus the me of today, though, probably.
All right. All right, let's go over the cast.
Let's do it.
We got Kimberly Beck as Trish Jarvis, Peter Barton as Doug Bell, the best guitarist in the world, Corey Feldman as Tommy Jarvis, Eric Anderson as Rob Deere, Crispin Glover as Jimmy Mortimer or slash Jimbo
Slash dead fuck.
slash dead fuck. That's right. Oh, that's funny. That was probably the funniest part of the whole movie.
It was there's a lot of comedy in this one too that you don't find in parts 1 through 3.
Yeah. Alan Hayes as Paul Guthrie, Barbara Howard as Sarah Parkington, Lawrence Monason as Ted Cooper, Joan Freeman as Tracy Jarvis,
The mother.
the mother, Judy Aronson as Samantha Lane, Camilla Moore as Tina Moore.
There's always a Tina in these movies, it seems like.
Carrie Moore
Josh.
as Terry Moore.
Carrie Moore is Terry Moore? Whatever.
Oh, they were twins.
Oh, they were the twins, yeah.
They were the twins.
I remember them twins well in the 80s.
Yeah, they're pretty hot. Lisa Freeman as Nurse Robbie Morgan, Wayne Grace as Officer Jameson, Bonnie Hellman as the hitchhiker, Frankie Hill as Laney, Paul LaCarthur as the doctor, Bruce Mailer.
Was he the one trying to screw the chick on top of the dead Jason?
I think so, yeah.
He was a ditz. Typical 80s idiot.
Bruce Mailer as Axel Burns, Anthony Ponzini as Vincent, and Ted White, unaccredited, as Jason Voorhees. And
yeah,
he wanted it unaccredited.
Did he?
Yeah, because he hated doing this movie, I guess. So,
well, if you're your typical special effects guy, it's probably just another day at the woods or whatever playing Jason. I don't know.
well,
Until
he was my age when he played this part. He was 58 years old when he played
hell.
this part. And yeah, so
not your most known Jason then.
But it's a lot of people say he's their favorite Jason.
He is a good Jason.
He did do a good job as Jason for sure.
He did a really good job as Jason, especially when he gets hacked up.
Yep.
And yeah, we're going to spoil this when Jason dies at the end of this one. But actually, he really dies at the end of this one.
Yes.
He's dead as fuck at the end of this movie. But if you haven't watched this by now and you're watching this show, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell. Jason dies. Sorry. He dies at the end of all these freaking movies, but he really dies this time. But that's why it's called the final chapter.
Yeah, what is it? 41 years ago, 1984?
I believe you're right.
Shit.
Well, I guess we'll talk about the Blu-ray.
All right. Yeah, go on with the Blu-ray.
Well, this comes from the box, which is still available, and Scream Factory has it on sale here, I think, this week, which has every Friday the 13th movie made in the box, including the ones from Paramount and from New Line Cinema. And honestly, they claim that this is a 4K scan from the original camera negative. Well, if it is, it's a shitty camera negative because this movie looks like crap on Blu-ray, unfortunately. Just not it's just very staticky and just not a good picture at all. I don't know if the Scream Factory cleaned this up or it was Paramount, but honestly, I think the damn DVD looked better. Now, this does come with a few special features. It has an audio commentary by the director and the screenwriter. There's slash scenes with audio commentary. That's your scenes that were cut out. They're not very good. Jason's Unlucky Day, 25 years after Friday the 13th, the final chapter. That's a good little documentary. There's The Lost Ending, which doesn't really the ending of this movie's weird. They were trying to set something up that they didn't get to pull off, apparently, maybe due to the fact you change directors on every one of these movies. But for Scream Factory, I am not pleased with the way this looks. I'm hoping that somebody may put this out on a 4K. We've got Arrow putting out a lot of the movies. They put out the remake, um, Jason Goes to Hell, and I think Jason X are now on 4K. So
Yep.
let's hope that this thing gets some real 4K treatment because this is not a good picture. It's not. I don't know what you watched it on. If you had any better luck than me.
Actually I watched it on Pluto. That's the only place
Pluto,
I
I
could
don't even know
find
what
it
the
for
fuck
free.
Pluto is.
It's one of them streaming services. I think it's owned by oh shit, I don't know. Can't think of it right now,
Maybe
but
Paramount or
anyway, it didn't look bad.
this looks pretty bad on the Blu-ray. A lot of film grain and just staticky, and the dark scenes don't look very realistic. So it's not a good 4K scan. Like I said, I don't know who did this, but it needs a better scan. So I'm gonna have to give this thing. I mean, it comes in the box set. The box set's cheap now. I think I paid a ton for it, but
Well,
it's the only way you're gonna get it.
Amazon's got it for 130 bucks.
I think Scream Factory had it on sale earlier. Um, I'm guessing the Paramount DVD's still out there somewhere. They didn't put a lot of love into those DVDs either, so we'll wait for. I mean, if they're gonna give Jason X a 4K thing, maybe this will get one eventually. I don't know. It depends on Paramount.
I'm
Right now,
pro
they have it subleased to the Scream Factory still, who love to do 4K releases. That's all they fucking do anymore. It's sort of annoying, honestly, to me.
well, I'm sort of surprised they didn't put this out on Paramount Plus.
Um,
I think the
Maybe around
original,
Halloween they put some of them out. I'm not sure. Usually you get part one, and that's about all I'll ever see on streaming.
yeah, and the remake.
And the remake. Now, Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell are owned by New Line, so that might be how Arrow got a hold of them and put the 4Ks of them out. I'm gonna get that Jason Goes to Hell. I almost bought it last week, but I ended up buying another movie on 4K, and that would have been Trick or Treat. You can see all my
Oh,
Sammy buddies back behind. Yeah, I can't wait to
oh,
watch that one.
oh, cool. Did you order it or?
Yeah, I actually I was looking for I've really been wanting this Jason Goes to Hell, but for some reason I saw Trick or Treat at the movie trading company and almost bought it there, but I looked on Amazon and they had like a coupon for like I think it was like $10 off. And then I noticed I had some kind of credits from Amazon. I got the damn thing for $7. So
Really?
really?
For 4K?
For the 4K with all my
Wow.
my Amazon credits and my whatever coupon, so I got it cheap. So
Does it got the Blu-ray with it?
no, it's just the 4K, but it's got
Okay.
all kinds of special features. So
Oh,
Jason
cool.
Goes to Hell, we'll have to wait till the next time, but I'm gonna get that on 4K, but I'm gonna give this an incomplete. It's all you're gonna get of this movie. So it's in the box, it's watchable, but it's nothing special, sadly.
All right. So,
Soundtrack, your typical Friday the 13th soundtrack.
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a little underwhelming this time. I don't remember the choo 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 ahs as much, or whatever the hell that noise is. I've never known in 52 years,
We discussed that when we did the show with Jimbo,
and I
remember?
still don't remember. Yeah,
It's
we did part one with
it's
Jimbo, and was Kyle on that one? It
I
was
think
just
so,
us
yeah.
and Jimbo.
I think
We've
Kyle
done
was
like
on that.
200 episodes. I can't remember all this stuff.
Oh
I
shit.
just think this was sort of an underwhelming soundtrack this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're not in the woods as much, so that could be part of it. A lot of the kills
Exactly.
happen in the houses, and at the lake or whatever, but they're not actually doing a lot of Jason chasing people down in the woods this time.
Exactly. All right. Well, I guess we'll get into some trivia here.
You probably got a lot for this movie, I would
Yeah,
think.
there is a lot. So some of it we've already discussed, but
I always
uh
ruin some of your trivia with my stupid knowledge.
at around 35 minutes, the strange dance which Jimbo performs at the party was contributed by actor Crispin Glover and was based on the eccentric way he actually danced in clubs. On the set, he was actually dancing to the song Back in Black by AC/DC as the scenes was being filmed. But in the film, however, an edited version of Love is a Lie by the band Lion was dubbed into the scene. And that song is not on the soundtrack.
No.
So,
Yeah, I'm sure they couldn't afford AC/DC, so they had to go with this Lion band. I know who they are, actually.
yeah, not White Lion, just
No,
Lion.
not White Lion, Lion. Plain Lion, not White
Yeah.
Lion or Black Lion or Purple Lion. Not Purple Lion, no.
Okay. At around 9 minutes, the nurse's name tag reads R. Morgan, RN, an homage to actress Robbie Morgan, who played Annie in Friday the 13th, 1980.
Okay.
Ted White refused to talk to the other actors during production because he thought socializing with them would then diminish their fear of Jason.
Smart move.
Let's see that. Though he'll dislike being involved with the film, Ted White is considered by many fans to be one of the best Jasons ever, which I have to agree.
I would agree as well. He did a really good job in this movie for being Jason.
Joseph Zito had previously directed The Prowler from 1981, but they wanted him to both direct and write Friday the 13th, Part 4. He said, but I'm not a writer, to which they said, here's a contract paying you double to write and direct. Then he responded, yeah, I'm totally a writer. He used the extra salary to hire Barney Cohen to somewhat secretly write the script. Their process entailed Zito talking nightly 1 hour phone calls with Phil Scuderi to discuss the story and script for the final chapter. Next day, Zito would meet Cohen in an apartment in New York to relay what notes and ideas Scuderi had offered, which they would then turn into new script pages to be sent later that day to Scuderi in Boston to be discussed again over the phone that night. So that they had a little runaround action going on there with the script.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it was a little bit better movie than the first three too.
Right.
So,
Definitely a better movie than the others.
well, the original,
Well, I don't know that the original's any better than the other ones. Everybody always says that, but it's the same shit. I guess it was just done first.
yeah, it was one of a kind.
Yeah, but they're all the same thing almost. It just happened to be the first of however many of them. I don't know that the original is that much greater than these others.
Okay. At the time, this installment of the series contained the most nudity and gore.
It did. I think that's why I liked it as a kid.
Lots of boobies
There was.
and 80s bushes.
There were.
At around 10 minutes, the workout video Axel. Axel is the guy with the body. The the what do you
Got
call it?
body. Huh?
Well, anyway, the workout video he's watching is Aerobicize from 1980. It stars Darcy DeMoss, who went on to have a role in Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives from 1986.
Which we all know is my favorite Friday the 13th movie.
Is it?
Yeah, we've rated these things, I think, before. I think 6 is 1 and 4 is 2 for me.
Okay.
Although I like part 3 too.
Writer Barney Cohen originally wrote a scene involving Jason fondling Trisha's breast, but the producers vetoed it. Director,
Jason don't do that.
no, he's not a titty grabber.
No.
Joseph Zito also disliked the scene because it made Jason seem too human and less menacing. So they took it out.
I could see Michael doing something like that more than Jason.
You think?
I think.
Maybe. Maybe
I
the
think Michael
maybe
could
the
be a
Michael from
perv.
the Michael maybe the Michael from the last three movies.
The Michael from, you know what's funny? The only one of those movies I've even kept is Halloween Kills. That's it. Where is it? That's the only one I've even got. I think I sold the other two off.
Traded them off.
Yeah, traded them off at Movie Trading Company. Ow, my back
Oh
hurts,
shit.
Brett. I'm old.
This is the only film in the series to shoot new footage using sets and locations from a previous film. The beginning takes place on the set of Friday the 13th, Part 3, before moving to a new location. So they were still at Camp Crystal Lake
In the
in
beginning.
the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, because they picking up the dead Jason.
At around 1 hour and 2 minutes, and in a scene, Rob talks to Trish about his sister, Sandra. Sandra was one of Jason's victims in Friday the 13th, Part 2 from 81. At around 9 minutes, the moment where Jason's hand moves in the morgue was done by Ted White after Joseph Zito had called cut on the scene. However, the camera was still rolling and caught this movement, and it was included in the film.
Good inclusion.
Director Joseph Zito was opposed to using clips from previous installments at the beginning of the film. He wanted to do everything all new.
Yeah, I didn't like the beginning where they tell the story. It's like, come on,
Well,
we've
they
seen the
showed,
other three.
yeah, it's like they showed clips of all of the other
Yeah,
first
I hate.
three.
I'm with the director. I think that was unnecessary and just drug the movie down a little
Well,
bit in the
when they're
beginning.
talking at the campfire at the beginning, that's from Part 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
that's got the
Yeah,
guy with the wheelchair in it.
yeah. That no, the wheelchair dude's in part three.
Oh, he's at Part 3.
Yeah, I thought that was I don't that was definitely not needed at all.
Yeah, they should have
Director was right. That shouldn't
started
have
from
been there.
scratch.
Yeah, look at
Oh,
that
let's
behind
see
you. There's your
here.
favorite Leatherface.
Oh, he's
The
so
the
purty.
Fred hates that guy. I don't. He's never going away. Apparently, we've tried to sell him, and he still stays.
He's still here. It's been suggested that the only reason Tom Savini decided to work on this as makeup artist was so he could accurately age and properly kill the character he created in the first film.
That makes sense. I would ask Tom Savini that at a convention, but he doesn't speak to people, so maybe I could get him to talk.
Maybe. Rather than making masks, Tommy was originally going to have been an inventor.
The fuck's he
Uh,
gonna invent?
One of his projects was a device made from a microwave oven, which would have been what he used to kill Jason.
That would have
Some
been dumb.
some of this is seen in the final product in a scene where he helps repair a car. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would have been dumb if Jason would have got killed with a fucking microwave oven. For
yeah.
for fuck's sake.
Well, I don't know. You can only kill Jason so many ways, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. Ted White and Tom Savini at first were confrontational with one another, but once White found out Savini had experience with stunts, the two became friends. I wonder if he actually talked to him.
I don't know. Probably not. Look, we got
Excuse me.
Jason, baby Jason here with me. He's
All
just gonna
right.
hang out now.
It is played for humor throughout final chapter that young Tommy Jarvis is suddenly surrounded by horny teenagers running a cabin he can see into from his own house. However, the reality of the situation and those actresses were indeed very or partially naked. And Corey Feldman was still young enough that Eric Anderson and Kimberly Beck took him trick or treating the first day of filming, since it happened to be on Halloween of 1983. So they shielded 12-year-old Feldman from most of the bad stuff using tricky editing when necessary. What they could not control was the power of low cut top bra underneath. According to Feldman, in the scene in which Judy Aronson's character bends over to greet Tommy's dog, unbeknownst to anyone, but Feldman could see down her low cut top.
Oh no, he saw down her top.
He saw some breasts.
Oh no. That's what ruined Corey Feldman for his whole life, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a cool looking Jason. I like that one.
Yeah, he's been around forever. He's still look at him. Can you hear that? There's his
Oh.
speaker.
During filming, Kimberly Beck, who plays Trish, experienced strange occurrences, including a man watching her while she ran in the park and strange phone calls at all hours. This stopped when production was over.
That's weird. She had a stalker, maybe.
Had a stalker. I wonder if he had a hockey mask on.
I don't know. That was a sister, right?
Yeah.
She was actually seemed a little classy to be in one of these movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's not really your typical Jason kill either. She's kind of got a little bit more, her character's treated a little bit better. I'm sorry, I got boxes falling behind me.
Boxes falling. Oh no. In Turkey,
It was
this
this a dark ray.
a pop.
Yep.
In Turkey, this film and the next sequel, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning from 1985, were released at the same time.
Now, isn't
People
that
could,
weird?
people could watch both films back to back. Even the posters for both movies were displayed next to each other.
I don't think that's a bad thing
Oh,
because Tommy Jarvis is in part 5
yeah.
and part 6.
Amy Steele talked Peter Barton into doing the film. By the time the final chapter offer came around, Matthew Starr was off the air. I don't even remember that TV show.
What the hell is that? I don't
It
even know what
was
you're
like
talking about.
some nighttime like soap opera like thing.
Oh, I don't know what it is, so
That's
I can't really
I
give you an
don't
answer.
remember it. So, and Barton wanted no part of horror films, having hated working on Hell Night in 1981. Amy Steele somehow talked him into it, selling him on the notoriety of starring in the final Friday the 13th film, which it didn't
It
end
was
up being.
not. It was not.
Well, actually, three was supposed to be the last one, and
That's true too.
so they just kept it going.
Paramount kept making money.
Remember the rumors was always, oh, the last one's going to be number 13.
I remember that. I used to spread that fucking rumor actually. I used to tell everybody, yeah, well, they're going to make 13 and then they're going to end it.
How
Well,
many are
actually, aren't
there?
they to 12?
Think so. With the remake,
With the remake, I think we're at 12. So we're still waiting for that 13th movie. And I think we may be getting it with this Crystal Lake TV series, which is apparently really, really, really happening now.
yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff here the past few days about that. And I'm
Oh,
excited about that too.
have you seen the new Dracula?
What new Dracula?
There's a new Dracula coming out.
What kind of new Dracula?
It's like the Vlad part of it.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Look it up.
There's a new Van Helsing movie thing coming out somehow. Well, I'm not looking it up right now.
I know. I'm just saying.
Are you done with trivia?
No, I got a few more here.
Oh,
Barbara Howard was willing to wear a bra and panties for one scene, but unlike the other actresses, she refused to go totally nude. So producers hired actress Robin Wood to double for her in the shower sex scene. Rob was originally supposed to have high-tech equipment which he had used to track Jason, but the props for this looked cheap and the idea was scrapped. What kind of high-tech fucking bounty hunting for Jason shit could you have?
Fuck, I don't know. Um, I don't
Uh,
know.
Director Joseph Zito wanted Jason's hockey mask to explode apart in the opening credits, but there was not enough time in post production to pull off the gag. Let's see here. The house used for the Jarvis home was later used as the Anderson home in the film Ed Gein from 2000, where the serial killer Ed Gein was apprehended.
That was one of those blockbuster video rental movies that
Was it?
yeah, they used to make shit specifically for Blockbuster back then.
Bonnie Hellman's agents told her about the possible role in this film as the hitchhiker, but then told her that she would not want to do it as there was no speaking lines. However, she ended up taking the role anyway. She had some speaking. Wasn't that the chick sitting on the
On the
side of the
stump,
road?
I
She
don't think she
spoke.
spoke.
She didn't.
No, I don't know. I just watched this thing last night. You think I would? I didn't pay any attention to whether the hitchhiker girl spoke or not. Sort of a throwaway character, really. I wouldn't have
Jason's
took the role.
Jason's death won the Golden Chainsaw Award in Dead Meat's Friday the 13th, the final chapter kill count. Roger Ebert called this film an immoral and reprehensible piece of trash,
He's right.
and he paid his own money to go see it.
He's right. It was immoral.
Uh, Kimberly Beck stated in the Crystal Lake Memoirs book that she does not like horror genre. In addition to this, she also said she feels this film was not even a B movie, but rather a C movie.
Nah, I've seen a lot. Yeah, no, it's not. It's a B movie. We'll leave it at that.
The female hitchhiker was originally called the Blubbery Girl in the original
Oh,
draft of the script.
that's sad. But it was the
Uh,
80s. We didn't give a fuck back
no,
then.
they didn't give a shit.
No, it's not like this 2025 world.
The black and white film that Ted is watching while getting stoned is an actual film from 1908 called Betty's Bath. And it was
A
but,
porno thing.
but like a 1920s nudie film.
Yeah.
Film was shot entirely in California. Oh, that's about it. We've
Out of
talked about
drink,
a bunch of
Brett.
this other stuff, huh?
I'm out of my drink now.
Out of your drink. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I drank this whole cup.
So that's about all I got.
Good time to end it, I think.
So I'll let you go first.
Okay. So Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Like I said, I've probably seen this movie more than anything ever. Maybe. Um, it was my favorite one as a kid. Now you got to realize back then, this is before Blockbuster. This is before Sam's Video. I've promoted it before. I used to rent from B Star Video. And I used to rent this movie and keep it the whole weekend, and I'd watch it like 10 times. That's how stupid I was as a kid. Loved it. Just over and over and over. Hell, I don't even know how old I would have been then. I guess Tommy Jarvis was my hero because he killed Jason. We were supposed to knock on Corey Feldman more on this, Brett, but I don't think we did.
He's the best
He,
guitarist in the world.
well, I'm gonna tell you what, he's damn good in this movie.
Yeah, he
He
did do a good
he was
job.
really good in this role.
Yeah.
Um, very challenging role for a young guy. I think having to ends up cutting his hair off and doing all kinds of stuff, and The end is pretty challenging, so I think he did a good role for this. I know he gets a lot of shit now, but I give him a lot of credit. We've mentioned the guy that played Jason did a good job. It seems to have more of a feel to it than the first three movies. Um, it was my favorite when I was a kid. Now let's fast forward to 2025. I can't really watch this movie much anymore. I've just seen it so god dang many times. It's just like I just can't do it anymore. It just now it just I don't know. You know, I this is where I'm going to go on my soapbox. Growing up, these were the movies I grew up on. It wasn't the Wolf Man, it wasn't Frankenstein, it wasn't the Hammer films. It was Friday the 13th and Halloween. Now that I'm older, I find watching a Hammer film or one of the Universal monster movies is just a lot more enjoyable for me than watching these old Friday the 13th movies. But these are the ones that sort of made me the horror person I am. So I don't know if you're younger, if people have the same thoughts to these movies as I do, like watching an old Hammer film. I don't know. What do you think? Do they hold up?
This one I think holds up.
I think it does too.
I actually enjoyed watching it again. I actually believe I seen this in the theater when it came out. Uh,
I don't think the first one I saw in the theater was until part 5 because I remember being in Riverside Middle School talking to this kid. We were talking about part 5 and we didn't know what Tommy Jarvis's name was, so we just called him the boy that killed Jason when we were talking about the movie.
oh shit, that's funny. But yeah, I can't. I'm pretty sure I seen it in the theater when it first came out. But uh, actually, I like this better than 2 and 3.
I do too.
I can't say that I like it better than the original.
I will, but I
Uh,
like part 6 better than this one.
Savini did great on the makeup.
Savini always does great, even
The
though he won't talk to nobody.
the when his mask comes off and you see his deformed face, he did a great
He
job
did
on
a
that.
great job. Yep.
Great blood in it and all the kills.
Oh yeah, it's definitely top notch. Savini's awesome. I think I'm gonna go to that convention next year and say, Savini, I'll give you $50 if you'll talk to me for 5 minutes. I don't want a picture. I don't want an autograph.
Yeah,
You think he would?
probably. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Uh, yeah, great special effects in this for sure. Um, Soundtrack, typical Friday the 13th
Yeah.
soundtrack,
Nothing
nothing
good, nothing
special.
bad. Yeah, it's just mediocre.
Uh, that's about it. Good looking chicks. Lots of
Yeah.
all the chicks were good looking in it. Every
As
single one
a
of them.
as a teenager, or young teenager in the 80s, I think that was another one of the
Yeah,
appeals of this movie. The girls looked a lot better than they did in parts 1 through 3, in my opinion.
yeah, for sure. And it seems like movies going forward too, they stayed all good looking,
Yeah,
you know. So, but
nothing against the one. I don't know. They look more age appropriate, maybe.
yeah,
Some of them in them other movies look like they were in their mid to upper 30s and maybe even 40s.
yeah,
These look more age appropriate.
yeah. So
Well, where are you going to rate this? And then I'll rate it.
I'm gonna go midway on this. I'll go ahead and give it a 3.
I'm going to give it a 3 too, because that's all it needs.
That's all it needs,
That's all it needs.
nothing
These are not Academy
spectacular.
Award winning movies, folks. These are Friday the 13th movies.
Oh, so yeah, I'll give it a 3.
I'm going to equally give it a 3.
So
That said, it's probably my second favorite Friday the 13th movie, although I do like part 3 a lot. And I actually like that damn Jason Goes to Hell as well. But part 6 will always be the best forever. It's just a fun movie. This movie's fun too, though. I've
Yeah,
just seen it so damn
it,
many times.
it's got its comedic element to it too. That
Not
helps a
as
little
funny as
bit.
part six, but when you get to part four of a horror movie, you gotta have a little bit of fun to it.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of humor, a little bit of humanity almost to it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
actually, I sort of feel bad for all these kids that got killed in this one because they didn't really do anything wrong. They weren't camp counselors. It was the camp counselors that got Jason killed. These kids, a little bit of
Yeah.
humanity, I think, in this movie, which it didn't have before.
Yeah. Totally different storyline for
It
sure.
is.
But
And
yeah,
it I don't know what direction they were going to take part five. The way part four ended, I think they were trying to make Tommy Jarvis into the new Jason. I don't know.
I started watching that last night, the other night because it went right to the next one.
Oh, part five.
Yeah. And
I've always said that's my least favorite Friday the 13th movie, but I haven't watched that movie in like 15 years, maybe. I have not watched it in the box set either. I'm just holding on to that movie. I guess I'll wait until we do it on the damn show and finally
well,
watch it again.
well, I was in and out of consciousness, so I don't remember
Yeah.
much of what I did watch. So
Yeah. I know that evil Lindahl's staring at me.
she is, ain't she?
Yeah.
She just winked
Yeah.
at you, man.
Well, now that we've reviewed this, I'm going to bring up our AI assistant, Evil Ed.
Oh, fuck no.
Yes. Evil Ed, our AI assistant, and Brett are at war with each other. And he's given Brett his own nickname, which is Dr. Brett Stein.
Oh.
And Brett Stein's creation is that evil Lindahl right there. Instead of a monster, it's a doll. So I have a lot of fun with
Whatever.
Evil Ed. Me and him banter back and forth, and Brett is the butt of the jokes.
Yep. As always.
If we didn't love you, you wouldn't be. So I guess Evil Ed
Uh,
loves you too, man.
Fuck Evil Ed. That's all I
He
gotta
says
say.
the
Every
same
every
thing to
time I try
you.
to get him to do something, I try to make a picture. He does it of himself. Think he's fucking spiting me, the
He
prick.
don't like you, dude. He wishes that you would go away and he could take over the
He's
show.
gonna go a fucking way.
No, he's not. If he goes away, I go away. Me and Evil Ed are a team now.
Oh shit. That's funny. All
We're a
right.
team. Um. Oh yeah. Just so you know, I watched The Monkey last night.
Oh, you did? Is
I did.
that any good?
Yep.
All right. I'll have to check it out. I'll have
Yep.
to see
Talking
what's
of the
on.
evil toys, I need a
I've been
monkey for the haunted house.
I've been wanting to see that Long Legs, and it's not on fucking streaming anywhere.
No, it's you can only get that shit through Voodoo or whatever these things are
I'm
called now.
gonna have to break down and rent that or something.
Yeah,
'Cause
you're gonna have to rent it.
have you seen the Long Legs yet?
No, but it's from the same company that did the monkey.
Oh yeah,
I could have actually got a bundle and got it, but I didn't want to pay the extra $10.
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
$15 for the monkey. It was worth it. That was another one I wanted to see in the theater, but I just ain't had time to go to the theaters here any really honestly.
I know, I know.
So
The monkey.
coming
Okay,
soon, the monkey.
I'll have to get it and check it out.
But I enjoyed the watching part four this week. I love that when we get into the Friday the 13th movies because them and the Halloween movies, like I said, that is my Frankenstein, that is my Dracula as a kid.
When's the next Friday the 13th? When is it?
There's not one other one this year.
There ain't. We gotta wait till
And
next year.
I
So
missed all the haunted houses. Hangman's was open, the Dark Hour was open. I don't think the Cutting Edge was open, but it just wasn't a good time to go to haunted houses
no.
in June.
Plus, it's fucking hot.
Yeah, June is not a good time to. I mean, the Dark Hour's got an air conditioner, but
Yeah.
they were doing some weird. It wasn't their typical werewolf haunt. It was like some kind of hybrid lycanthropes, I guess.
Hmm.
Like like wereflies and just weird stuff.
Wireflies.
I don't know. It was weird stuff that they came up with.
Alan must have fucking made up a bunch of fucking shit for it to
I think
do.
so. I think they're going to be open for Texas Frightmare Weekend. I know they're having that haunt tour there. So
Yeah.
usually they're open the Friday they do the haunt tour and the Saturday they open to the public. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see what the Dark Hours doing the weekend of Texas Haunters Convention. I think I called it Frightmare Weekend. These
Yeah.
two conventions names are too similar for me. I get them confused.
I do too sometimes. But
Well, that's
anyway,
all we got.
that's all we got. And thanks for watching and listening.
And enter the contest.
Enter the contest, join the group,
Talk to Evil Ed.
don't talk to Evil Ed.
I'm gonna tell right now, Brett's talking crap about you on the air.
Tell him I said he's a little bitch.
I am. Let's see what his response is. Keep talking a minute.
Keep talking, huh? I don't know what his response is.
Yeah, he won't talk to Brett.
He
I told him, Brett
won't-
said on air, you're a little bitch. Let's see what Evil Ed says back. Okay. Explodes into rage. He calls me Master Count Karabi, by the way. He said, my revenge is coming. He said, Dr. Brett Stein admits the Evil Ed will destroy my career and my dignity as a podcaster. So he's coming after you.
Oh, gonna destroy me, huh?
He's going to destroy your career as a podcaster.
Well,
So the Evil Ed versus Dr. Brett Stein feud continues into week 2.
All righty. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We will talk to you later. Stay evil.
Three times before, you have felt the terror, known the madness, lived the horror. But this is the one you've been screaming for. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason is back. He moves like a shadow, dark and silent.
Sorry, you change your mind?
He never utters a word. He doesn't even seem to breathe.
Where the hell's the corkscrew?
He simply, mindlessly, mercilessly kills. But now, Jason's reign of terror is over. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Friday, April 13th.